Hello everybody, here we are today and we're going to be talking about NHL rookies you could be paying attention to that aren't Connor Bedard. So before we start, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So for starters, this is not a shot on Bedard. He is coming off of a 4-point night last night, but I just did want to say, obviously we've heard a lot about him going into the draft, and then we have heard a lot about him since he started to play in the NHL. So now we're going to be talking about 4 rookies that we should be looking at or could be looking at that are having good starts to the season, and maybe some names you want to pay attention to. So the first guy that we're looking at here is Matthew Poitras, and he is a 2022 second round pick, if I'm not mistaken. He's got 7 points through 13 games played. What is so special about Poitras, and why should we be paying attention to him? Well, the first thing is 7 points in 13 games as a rookie is not too bad. The second thing is he is listed as a center. Guess where Boston really could have used some help going into this season? That's right, center. Poitras is a guy that so far has had some good things going his way, playing about 15 minutes a night, just a little bit over that, and having good numbers at 5-on-5, which I love to see for a rookie. And while the point total isn't absolutely crazy, I really don't mind it, especially the minutes you're getting. Good point per 60 value, and you have to realize there's some other things that I like about his game too. For starters, 0 penalties taken, 7 drawn through just 13 games on the year. If he's a guy that can able to develop and be a very good player for Boston down the middle, be a great time for them to get some extra help down the middle, and Poitras is somebody that you might want to watch for the rest of this year. The second one is Logan Cooley. If you don't know who Logan Cooley is, that's all right. He was the 3rd overall pick, I believe in 2022, I want to say, and right now he has 8 points through 13 games played. This is one of those guys that you need to keep an eye out for because of the high draft status and where he is seen in Arizona. So right now you're looking at him, and he has the power play assist lead for his team currently with 6 power play assists through 13 games on the year. Not too shabby for a rookie and a guy that has been able to get multiple assists in this early stint of the season. That's good. Another thing to look at here that you have to factor in is the fact that the Coyotes were just downright awful last season for the power play. They were either 24th or 26th in the league for power play percentage last year during the regular season. Obviously, they didn't play postseason. This year, they are currently 6th in the league for power play percentage. This is a guy that's getting over 16 minutes a night and is viewed as one of those core guys for the Yotes going forward. They obviously haven't been able to make the playoffs a whole lot in recent years, but Cooley is seen as one of those younger guys that can bring in the best era of hockey in the desert. And if you're able to have a lot of power play success with him as a rookie, that's great, and he's going to continue to grow. Normally, I would say, okay, are we a little bit worried about a player getting so many points off the power play, especially in their rookie year? Here, I'm not going to say that's the case, because if you go from 24th to 26th, whichever one it was, to 6th in the league for power play percentage, I'm going to cut you guys some slack a little bit there too. Will they stay up there in the top 5, top 10 range? I don't know just yet because it is so early in the year. However, I will say this too, there's a lot of people taking knocks on him because he doesn't have a lot of goals. He might just have one up to this point in the season. That being said though, for a guy that could very well be the assist leader, one of the assist leaders for his team, especially on the power play this year, I'd say calm down about the goal total and let's see how this whole year goes for Cooley and how it goes for the Coyotes, who are having a decent start. The third guy is an Anaheim Duck, and we're not talking about who you probably think. We're talking about a goalie, Lucas Dostal. I think that's how you say his last name. We had to throw a goalie in here, and right now he's in a spot where he's thriving as a rookie. Now, he has got 2 years prior to this of NHL experience, both with the Ducks. However, that was 23 games, and that was not a great stint. Looking at those stats in those first 2 seasons, even though one was like 4 games, they weren't great. Last year was especially bad, but I kind of wanted to highlight the fact that he had a really bad game against Buffalo. Hey, 3rd highest scoring team in the NHL last year, in a bad game against the Lightning, a team that's been able to go to the Stanley Cup over and over and over again. And looking at his game log, you can just see that Buffalo was not able to bail him out. There's a lot of nights where he had to stop nearly 45 shots a night. That is not good. But the young Duck is looking really good at the start of this year with a .920 save percentage and a 5-1 record on the year. The Anaheim Ducks have started out the year pretty well, especially considering what last year looked like for him. Had, I believe, a 5-game winning streak not that long ago. I don't believe it ended up, maybe it got to 6 games. to also having 5 wins. Kind of correlates here. They haven't had a lot of luck with John Gibson lately. You wonder a little bit, is this going to be the year where we see him get thrust in this role, Gibson either get traded or be the 1B goalie or even just a 2 goalie? It's going to be interesting because maybe, just maybe, he helps lead the Ducks to the playoffs, and we have the young new goalie there that's going to be interesting to watch out for, him and this Ducks team. And then the final player that I wanted to talk about here is Luke Evangelista. I believe that's how you say his last name. He is somebody that was drafted in the 2nd or 3rd round by the Predators not long ago. I believe it was 2020, somewhere around then. Anyway, things have looked really good for him to start off his career. Last season in 24 games played, he had 15 points. That's about pace for a 51-point season, so cracking the 50-plus point mark in a year like last year where he didn't play a crazy amount of games is really good for him and a Nashville team that could use some youth, especially as they brought in some older guys to try to rebound from not making the playoffs last year. Evangelista, in this point, has 8 points in 13 games played this season. I am going to say a little bit that I do think while his numbers look good analytically, the power play does seem to be helping him out quite a bit there in that category. But for a young guy like him, I'm going to hold off a little bit and just kind of focus on the points total because that's what a lot of people do here. He is currently 5th in NHL rookies, or 4 NHL rookies in points. 8 points again right there, not too shabby, and a Nashville side really is going to be interested in what he can do going forward. I think he's about 21 years old. Barry Trotz, what are we looking at here? Are we looking at Evangelista being part of this team for the future? And what is this season going to look like for him? Is he going to be able to have another 50 or 60 point season? How will he contribute for his team that is looking to make it back to the playoffs? And if they make it back to the playoffs, how big of a role will he have here? So yeah, those are some guys I wanted to talk about in here that are NHL rookies to keep an eye on. Yes, I know that there are some other guys out here that have had really good years to start off the season. I'm aware of that. I threw in some names that you probably knew. You probably knew who Logan Cooley was. Maybe you knew who Matthew Patois was because you're a Bruins fan, but some of these names maybe you aren't as familiar with. The Predators don't really seem to get as much coverage for hockey that they would like in the national landscape. So Evangelista, a guy that's been able to have a pretty good start to his NHL career, I wanted to highlight that a bit. So are there some other guys that could have big years? Absolutely, but also wanted to talk about somebody that wasn't Connor Bedard. So let me know your thoughts on an NHL rookie that's been able to impress you so far to start the season, and I would love to hear all the answers we're going to get, excluding Connor Bedard, because I want to know who else it is. But if you want to throw in Connor Bedard, I really don't care. So everybody, please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night, and you love hockey, all right. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.